Hi, this is Sarah Mikesell with the Pig Site, and today we're here with Dr. Thomas D'Alfonso. He is the Worldwide Animal Nutrition Focus Area Director at the U.S. Soybean Export Council. Thanks for joining me again, Tom.
Glad to be here, Sarah. I look forward to our conversation.
Fantastic. And today we're going to talk about how U.S. soy quality builds markets. Tom, let's start with how producers and feed mills typically choose their soybean meal origin. What are they usually focused on, and what do you think they're missing?
Right, Sarah. Well, in a commodity industry, unfortunately, often price is what's looked at first. But I think what's important to look at is the cost. And let me tell you what I mean by that differentiation there, that distinction. If you look at the ability of an ingredient to lower the cost of feed, that's different than looking at the price of the ingredient. Price is one factor, but the nutrient bundle and the consistency and the digestibility of those nutrients are what's most important. Consistency means you can formulate without using safety margins. You can expect those average values to be there that you're used to. The other cost to look at is cost per kilogram of animal protein produced. And when you have a highly digestible diet where soybean meal derived from U.S. soy is the base ingredient, those animals will perform to their genetic potential. They'll be more resilient to digestive and respiratory ailments we're finding. And so price is just one factor. The other is, unfortunately, crude protein. It's really no longer the way to formulate diets. For decades now, nutritionists are formulating on the consistency of the digestibility of the essential amino acids. And our methods for measuring crude protein are very old, more than 100 years old, and we don't measure crude protein. We measure nitrogen. And this is simply inaccurate. It's much more important to look at those essential amino acids and their digestibility. And in fact, if you were to add up all of the amino acids, you get a higher number than crude protein in many cases. I just saw an example of this in the field on one of my visits. We measured crude protein, two different samples. One had lower crude protein than the other, but when we measured the essential amino acids, when we measured all of the amino acids and added them up, then the one that measured lower in crude protein actually had more amino acids. So
Right.
measuring the right thing and making the right purchasing decisions go hand in hand.
U.S. soy is often described as consistent. That word gets used a lot, but what does it actually mean in practical terms for a nutritionist formulating a grow finish diet?
Right. Well, you're counting on those essential amino acids to be digestible. You're counting on the calories to be digestible, and for those nutrients to be consistent. If they're not consistent, then you may be over formulating or under formulating nutrients. You're not properly balancing the diet, and the animal will not perform to its genetic potential. Today's animal genetics will bring profitability when they're provided the right fuel. And that means having a diet that is based on soybean meal derived from U.S. soy at high inclusion rates to bring in those functional compounds that affect animal health and performance, as well as that nutrient bundle that you're expecting when you formulate the diet.
Beyond protein, soybean meal contains bioactive compounds, polyphenols, isoflavones, bioactive peptides. What role do those play in grow finish swine performance? And why does origin matter for those compounds, Tom?
Right. So origin matters for a number of reasons. Let me start there.
Okay.
What we know is that the soybeans grown in the U.S. are less damaged. They have better quality essential amino acids. The energy is more digestible, and those are things we as nutritionists are familiar with formulating. But these other compounds, as you mentioned, the isoflavones, the bioactive peptides, the polyphenols, the terpenoids, bioactive lipids, they all need to be at high quality and can also be affected by damage. Let's take the bioactive lipids. for example. The fat quality is important, and that affects animal digestive health and immune response and inflammation. So what these compounds do is they make the digestive system and the immune systems more efficient and resilient. So anti-inflammation of the digestive system, antimicrobial compounds. These all mean that the animal has a healthy gastrointestinal system that will digest those nutrients and bring the highest value. So we've really just discovered these bioactive compounds, these functional compounds in the last few years, and their role in swine health and performance. There's some very exciting research out there, and I encourage everyone to go and look for it.
It's so exciting to see the new research, right? I mean, we're just continuing to learn more about the value of soybean meal, essentially, right?
Absolutely. I mean, these compounds that I mentioned, bioactive peptides, isoflavones, we're discovering their benefits in human health. So my
Right,
counterparts in soy foods and the focus area there, we get speakers in all the time talking about the benefits of soy in human health and nutrition. And humans are animals, so it's no surprise that the
right.
animals are benefiting also from these same compounds.
Very cool. For a feed mill owner expanding into a new market, trying to earn the trust of producers who are skeptical and cost conscious, how does ingredient origin become part of that commercial strategy?
So it sounds like a good commercial strategy, and I believe it is a good commercial strategy to provide high quality product to your customers and to tell them to look at the animal performance as the indicator that they are getting high quality and consistently high quality products. This builds trust. This is very important when it comes to an industry that is often cost conscious. They may look at the price of the feed or the price of an ingredient, but what's important is to look at the value, the return on investment for every ingredient decision that you make.
Right,
So by having highly digestible essential amino acids and calories, you can lower the cost to feed and you can improve animal performance at the same time. Those are the two factors in the profit equation, revenue and cost. So
right.
look at those factors that improve revenue as well as reduce cost. And you'll see that adopting a preference for soybean meal made from U.S. soy brings payback.
What's your message to a nutritionist or procurement manager who is currently sourcing on price alone and hasn't done a rigorous origin comparison? Where should they start, Tom?
Right, very good. Well, I think it's up to us really to bring purchasers and nutritionists together in the buying process conversation. So we can tell the nutritionist, we can tell the animal production company that purchasing soybean meal derived from U.S. soy will lower your carbon footprint, will provide more consistent feed and animal performance. But if we don't tie together the economic benefit to the company, then the purchasing person may not pick up on. We don't expect the purchasing person to be an expert in sustainability or an expert in animal
Right,
nutrition. It really requires a conversation among all of the players involved in the purchasing decision. And that's where we have engaged many of our conversations, bringing the purchasing person and the nutritionist together, bringing our supply chain partners together, and having a conversation about quality throughout the entire supply chain and why that brings payback to animal producers.
very good. Thanks so much for all the information, Tom. I really appreciate it today. This was very interesting conversation.
Thanks, Sarah. I enjoyed the conversation also. Have a great day.
Thank you. If you'd like to learn more, visit usec.org for the latest research and resources. This is Sarah Mikesell with the Pig Site.